Typhoon Bavi to make landfall in China tonight. Typhoon Bavi continues on its track northwestward towards China with sustained winds of 100 miles per hour and a central pressure of 953 millibars. The system is located at 26.7 degrees north, 122.8 degrees east. It has just passed through the Japanese islands and is now well on its way to China with its huge influence, extending up to 320 nautical miles of gale force winds from the center. In fact, they covered Taiwan and many other islands. The system is 135 miles away from Taipei in Taiwan, 155 miles from Wenzhou, 185 from Shigaki, 205 from Miyakojima, and about 400 from Shanghai. The system is expected to make landfall in China in the next 12 hours and quickly weaken, becoming an extratropical cyclone within 48 hours and dissipating somewhere near North China and North Korea in about 3 to 4 days. The Joint Typhoon Warning Center also gives for this assessment, with the system being inland but by later tonight and continuing to rapidly weaken, while on land only being 20 knots in just about 2 days. The JMA also has a similar indication of track intensity, with the system dissipating over China in just about 40 to 60 hours. And you can also see its huge influence with those circles indicating the influence of the system. The system is expected to gradually weaken and probably maybe not even be a typhoon by the time it makes landfall in China, and will definitely be even weaker more steadily while it moves inland. Shear is moderate, but that won't really matter that much anymore. Sea surface temperatures are around 28 degrees Celsius, which is sufficient for further intensification, but no such intensification is currently expected, and we'll talk about why later. Relative humidity is also up around 80%, which means that the environment is not that dry. And as you can see on the track, models are in general agreement on the track of the system, with it moving into China and then moving perhaps even into North Korea in a few days. The expected wind speed SWOT indicates where the areas of tropical storm and hurricane force winds are most likely to be, but I expect hurricane force winds to likely reach the coast of China as well, as indicated on this max possible wind speed graphic. And of course, those winds of tropical storm is likely to extend inland, as you can see on the probability of gale force winds graphic too. With its huge influence, I've never seen anything like that in years probably. Even those 50 knot winds, storm force winds, can extend perhaps into those Chinese provinces a tiny bit even, but the hurricane force winds will remain isolated to the coast of China. So, and of course the islands of Japan just got influenced by the system. And in terms of warnings, many warnings are in effect. I won't go through all of them, but typhoon warnings remain active in many parts of Taiwan. Storm warnings and gale warnings in those Japanese islands as well. Storm warnings are for around 50 knot gusts. Various typhoon warnings are active in China, even red typhoon warnings. They issue those for typhoons of decent intensity. Even as of the time of making the update, a single one alert is active as issued by Pagasa for the Batanes Islands of the Philippines. Let's look at the rainfall rate of the system. So the system moves pretty rapidly into China and brings some pretty significant precipitation totals there, and you can see even in Taiwan some pretty heavy totals, as you can see in this total precipitation animation. Some real impressive totals in those shadings, over 50 millimeters in the whitish about 200, and in the light neon colors even 300 millimeters of rainfall. And in the sustained winds map, we can see that the system will gradually weaken as it moves into China, but along the coast the winds will remain elevated. So that is something to definitely note, but the path ahead appears fairly straightforward. There's nothing much to comment on. Sea surface temperatures, as I said, are pretty high at 28-29 degrees Celsius, but the system will weaken very quickly. And of course, when it goes back towards North Korea, it will be weaker by then, and definitely an extratropical cyclone. Ocean heat content is probably the main reason why the system is weakening. It is dropping, so there's not much energy for the storm to work with compared to when it was passing through the Mariana Islands earlier. So we can see the latest satellite imagery here right now, and you can see a fairly broad system, lots of deep convection, but no really organized eye or anything like that. It just moved, as I said, through the islands of Japan, and it actually had multiple eye walls, and the system was even more broad due to this, but probably the winds were also weaker thanks to that. But now the path of the system is onto China, and that's the main threat. So really, let's watch out for heavy rainfall, significant heavy rainfall in the influence of the system. You can really expect that, and it will be notable for sure. Some flash flooding can be possible. Ensure that if you are in those areas, you heed the official weather warnings that are issued, and of course we'll try to bring out more updates as the situation continues. And here's I added a radar image to show where the general influence of the storm's rainfall is, and you can see the heavy rainfall over Taiwan and China. But the system score is quite messed up, broken on the southern side, so that's why the system is partially weakening. We'll have more updates on Bavi and other systems in the coming days as we can bring them out. And just thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more updates from Force 13.